You've probably heard that eating more vegetables keeps your heart safe. But what if I told you a few common healthy vegetables can quietly raise your stroke risk while you sleep? It sounds unbelievable, yet it happens when certain nutrients build up overnight, especially in older adults. After 60, our circulation slows, hydration drops, and the way our body handles sodium, potassium, and natural plant acids changes. According to the Cleveland Clinic and Harvard Health, some everyday veggies can actually worsen nighttime blood pressure if eaten too late or too often. In this video, we'll count down the 5 surprising vegetables that may raise stroke risk in adults over 60 and how to enjoy them safely. Stay until the end, because one shocks almost everyone over 60. Comment yes if you'd like more videos like this. Why stroke risk can increase at night. When we lie down to rest, most of us believe our bodies are relaxing and healing. But for many adults over 60, the nighttime hours can quietly become a danger zone for blood pressure and circulation. Here's why. As we sleep, our blood flow naturally slows, the heart pumps a little less forcefully, body temperature drops, and blood pressure often dips, which is normally a good thing. But when hydration is low or certain foods are eaten late in the evening, especially vegetables, high in potassium, nitrates, or sodium-like compounds, this delicate balance can shift too far. Instead of stabilizing, your blood pressure can spike or fluctuate, placing stress on aging arteries. Over time, these sudden nighttime surges can increase the likelihood of tiny blood vessel damage, the kind that builds up silently until one day it leads to a stroke or mini-stroke. Now, why does this matter more after 60? Because our circulatory system changes with age, arteries become less flexible, kidneys clear sodium and minerals more slowly, and the body's ability to maintain perfect fluid balance during long hours of sleep becomes weaker. So while a healthy 30-year-old might process a high-nitrate vegetable smoothie overnight without issue, a 65-year-old might wake up with a pounding pulse, dizziness, or lightheadedness, all early signs of nighttime blood pressure swings. The Cleveland Clinic notes that older adults often experience nocturnal hypertension, a condition where blood pressure rises instead of falls during sleep. And Harvard Health adds that these nighttime shifts are one of the most overlooked warning signs before a stroke. Take a moment to think of this. Imagine a 70-year-old man who finishes dinner with a big plate of roasted beets and spinach around 8:30 p.m. He feels healthy, goes to bed, but by 2 a.m., his blood pressure spikes 20 points higher than normal. He doesn't feel it, but the stress on his arteries continues, night after night. That's why understanding which vegetables can trigger this silent pressure effect and learning how to enjoy them safely matters more than ever. Now, let's begin our countdown. Starting with 5, a vegetable many seniors think is one of the healthiest on earth, but may cause hidden strain overnight. 5. Spinach. Most of us grew up believing spinach is the ultimate symbol of strength. It's packed with vitamins, iron, and antioxidants, and for decades, it's been promoted as a heart-healthy food. But here's the hidden truth. For adults over 60, too much spinach, especially late in the evening, can quietly add stress to the arteries and kidneys and even raise the risk of stroke. How can something so healthy cause harm? The answer lies in how spinach interacts with your body's chemistry as you age. Spinach is naturally rich in oxalates and potassium, 2 nutrients that are generally beneficial, but only when the body processes them efficiently. After 60, the kidneys tend to work a little slower, meaning excess oxalates and potassium can build up overnight instead of being cleared. That buildup can interfere with fluid balance, blood pressure, and circulation, especially during sleep when your system is already slowing down. Here's why that matters. When potassium levels climb too high, it can disrupt your heart's electrical rhythm, especially if you're taking common blood pressure or heart medications such as ACE inhibitors, beta blockers, or diuretics. At the same time, oxalates in spinach can bind to calcium, forming tiny crystals that stress the kidneys, an issue the Cleveland Clinic has linked to kidney stones and circulation strain in older adults. And while these effects are subtle, they can compound over time. Imagine a 68-year-old woman who enjoys a large green smoothie every evening, packed with raw spinach, banana, and almond milk. It seems like a healthy choice, but over months, she begins waking up with dizziness, light pressure behind her eyes, and mild swelling in her fingers. Her doctor later finds elevated potassium levels and signs of kidney strain. Nothing she did was wrong. Her body simply couldn't handle the same mineral load overnight that it could at 40. Science supports this. According to Harvard Health Publishing, adults with slower kidney function or blood pressure medication sensitivity should avoid excessive potassium-rich foods at night when clearance is lowest. This doesn't mean spinach is bad. It means timing and portion control matter deeply after 60. So what can you do instead? 1. Eat spinach earlier in the day. Having it at lunch gives your kidneys and circulation time to process those minerals while you're active and hydrated. 2. Blanch or lightly cook spinach. This reduces oxalate levels by as much as 40%, making it gentler on your system. 3. Rotate your greens. Alternate with lower oxalate options like lettuce, arugula, or kale in moderate amounts. Variety keeps your body balanced and prevents any one compound from building up. 4. Stay hydrated. Dehydration thickens your blood and makes potassium fluctuations more intense. A glass of water before bed can make a quiet difference. 5. Monitor how you feel. If you notice morning headaches, swelling, or dizziness, it's worth discussing with your healthcare provider. These can be subtle signs of nighttime pressure shifts. Here's the emotional bottom line. Spinach isn't your enemy. It's a wonderful vegetable, just not in the wrong dose or at the wrong time. Your body after 60 is wiser, but also more delicate in how it balances minerals and circulation. By simply adjusting when and how you eat certain foods, you can enjoy all the benefits without the hidden risks. Now that you know the truth about spinach, let's move one step deeper to another vegetable that's famous for improving circulation but can quietly do the opposite if eaten too late. 4. Beets. Beets are known as the circulation vegetable. They're rich in natural nitrates that help widen blood vessels and improve oxygen flow. That sounds wonderful, and for many younger adults, it is. But after 60, that same nitrate power can quietly backfire, especially when beets are eaten too close to bedtime. Here's why. When you eat beets, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes your blood vessels and lowers blood pressure. That's helpful during the day, when your heart and muscles need strong, flexible circulation. But at night, when your body is trying to maintain a slower rhythm, nitric oxide can become too much of a good thing. For older adults, this can trigger something called blood pressure instability, a sudden drop, followed by a rebound spike as your body tries to compensate. Those swings can be especially risky for people with stiff arteries, dehydration, or who take medication for hypertension. The Harvard Health Letter has noted that nitrate-rich vegetables, when eaten in excess or at inappropriate times, can affect nighttime blood pressure regulation in sensitive individuals. And the Cleveland Clinic warns that older adults who combine beets with blood pressure medication or nitrate-based drugs could experience unwanted dizziness or sleep-time circulation stress. Think about this real-world example. A 72-year-old retired teacher named Alan began juicing fresh beets every evening because he'd read they clean the blood. For the first few weeks, he felt more energetic. Then, out of nowhere, he started waking up dizzy, sometimes with a racing heart or heavy head. His doctor later found that Alan's nighttime blood pressure was spiking nearly 25 points, higher than his daytime levels, the exact opposite of what should happen. Once Alan switched his beet juice to mornings and reduced his portion, his blood pressure stabilized within a month. He didn't stop eating beets, he just learned to time them right. Why are beets more complicated after 60? Because our endothelial system, the lining of our blood vessels, becomes less responsive. So when we flood the body with nitric oxide late in the day, it doesn't regulate evenly. The result can be unpredictable. pressure dips followed by rebounds, or increased nighttime stress on the arteries. And there's another hidden layer. Beets are also high in natural sugars. Eating them too close to bedtime can cause mild blood sugar spikes, followed by drops that wake you during the night, a cycle that's both exhausting and inflammatory to the heart. So, what's the smarter approach? 1. Eat beets earlier in the day. Enjoy them for lunch or as part of a midday salad when your body is active and your circulation can use the boost. 2. Balance them with other vegetables. Pair beets with fiber-rich greens, like arugula or cabbage, to slow down nitrate absorption. 3. Watch portion size. Half a medium beet or 1/4 cup of cooked slices is often enough to get the benefits without overloading your system. 4. Stay hydrated. Beets are diuretic, meaning they can make you lose fluids. Hydration keeps your blood pressure more stable. 5. Know your own sensitivity. If you notice dizziness, morning headaches, or vivid dreams after eating beets late, your body might be signaling that it's processing too much nitrate overnight. Here's the bottom line. Beets are not the villain. They're a wonderful vegetable, but for seniors, timing is everything. Eat them in the daylight hours. Let your body benefit from their natural circulation boost, and give your heart the calm, even rhythm it deserves while you sleep. Because when you treat beets like a daytime tonic instead of a bedtime snack, you protect your arteries, your energy, and your peace of mind. Now, if you thought beets were surprising, wait until you hear what's next. Coming up, a vegetable that seems perfectly harmless, crunchy, watery, and refreshing, yet can quietly raise nighttime blood pressure without you realizing it. That's celery. 3. Celery. Celery crisp, green, and refreshing is one of those foods we almost never question. It's light, low in calories, and has long been considered a free snack for dieters and people with high blood pressure. But here's what most seniors don't realize. Celery naturally contains sodium compounds, and for adults over 60, those tiny amounts can quietly interfere with blood pressure control, especially at night. Here's the problem. Celery acts as both a diuretic and a sodium carrier. That means it helps the body release water, but it also delivers natural salts that can slightly tighten blood vessels. When you're young, your kidneys can easily balance that effect. After 60, however, slower kidney filtration and medication interactions make that balance harder to maintain. The result, for some older adults, a late-night snack of celery sticks or celery juice can lead to nocturnal blood pressure spikes, a condition where your pressure rises instead of falls during sleep. The Mayo Clinic and Harvard Health have both noted that even natural sodium from vegetables can affect blood pressure in sensitive seniors, particularly those using diuretics, ACE inhibitors, or heart medications. To make things trickier, celery contains a compound called apigenin, which interacts with how your body handles certain medications. It can mildly boost the effect of sedatives or heart pills, meaning your blood pressure might drop too low, then rebound higher as your body tries to stabilize. That roller coaster effect can strain arteries, especially in people who are dehydrated or have underlying heart conditions. Let's look at a real example. A 72-year-old woman named Margaret loved making fresh celery juice every night before bed. It made her feel clean and refreshed until she began waking up dizzy, sometimes with a tight feeling in her chest. When her doctor reviewed her diet, the pattern was clear. Her nighttime pressure was fluctuating, and her sodium levels were slightly off balance. By simply moving her celery juice to the morning and adding an extra glass of water with dinner, her symptoms disappeared within 2 weeks. Your hydration window shortens, and your blood vessels don't expand and contract as flexibly. That means even the small sodium in celery, about 80 milligrams per stalk, can have a stronger physiological impact than it did when you were younger. But that doesn't mean you should give up celery entirely. It's full of fiber, antioxidants, and blood sugar-friendly compounds. You just need to handle it smarter. Here's how. 1. Enjoy celery in the morning or early afternoon. That's when your kidneys are most active, and your blood pressure naturally runs higher, so the mild sodium effect is balanced out. 2. Pair it with potassium-friendly foods. Combining celery with cucumber, lettuce, or apple slices helps counteract sodium with extra hydration. 3. Limit raw celery juice before bed. If you like the taste, Blend a small amount earlier in the day, or dilute it heavily with water. 4. Watch for subtle signs. Nighttime restlessness, morning headaches, or waking up thirsty can be signals your pressure fluctuated during sleep. 5. Balance water intake. Many seniors avoid drinking water after dinner to prevent nighttime bathroom trips, but mild dehydration can actually make blood pressure swings worse. Here's the emotional bottom line. Celery isn't dangerous, it's just misunderstood. Its crispness hides a quiet strength that needs timing and balance, especially after 60. Handled wisely, it can still be part of a heart-healthy diet, but used carelessly. Even something as harmless as celery can become a silent trigger when your body is most vulnerable while you sleep. Now that you know the truth about celery, let's move into the next one. This next vegetable seems innocent, even comforting, but inside your body, it can interfere with how your blood clots and digests during the night. 2. Cabbage. Cabbage is one of the most common healthy vegetables in the world. It's in soups, salads, and countless comfort foods. And for good reason, it's rich in fiber, vitamin K, and antioxidants that support digestion and heart health. But for adults over 60, eating cabbage at the wrong time, especially late in the evening, can quietly disrupt your blood's natural clotting balance and strain your digestive system during sleep. Here's what happens. Cabbage contains a large amount of vitamin K, the nutrient responsible for helping your blood clot normally. It's essential, but for people who take blood-thinning medications such as warfarin, even small nighttime fluctuations in vitamin K can cause the medicine to become less effective. That imbalance can increase the risk of either blood clots or internal bleeding, depending on which way the interaction swings. The National Institutes of Health (NIH) notes that older adults who combine vitamin K-rich foods with blood thinners should keep their intake consistent and avoid large portions late in the day. When liver metabolism slows and there's more, cabbage is one of the most fibrous vegetables you can eat. That's good for digestion, but only if your digestive tract is fully active. After 60, digestion naturally slows in the evening. When you eat a heavy cabbage meal before bed like coleslaw, stir-fry, or soup, it can ferment overnight, leading to bloating, discomfort, and even mild pressure on the diaphragm. This pressure can reduce oxygen flow and slightly raise blood pressure while you sleep. For most seniors, this happens quietly, no pain, no warning, but it adds up. Every night your body works harder to digest, and your blood chemistry shifts just enough to throw off your natural rhythm. Let's look at a true-to-life example. A 65-year-old woman named Patricia had always prided herself on eating healthy. She loved her warm cabbage soup every night, thinking it helped her lose weight. But over time, she noticed her ankles swelling slightly in the mornings, and her INR, a measure of blood-thinning control, kept fluctuating. Her doctor found that her evening cabbage intake was interfering with her medication. After moving her cabbage meal to lunchtime and reducing portion size, her digestion improved. Her INR stabilized, and her energy came back. The science behind it is simple but powerful. According to Harvard Health, vitamin K doesn't just interact with medications, it also plays a role in calcium balance, which affects blood vessel flexibility. Too much vitamin K at night can signal your liver to store more clotting factors, at a time when your circulation should be resting, not working. And let's not forget about gastric fermentation. When your digestive system is slower, fiber-heavy foods like cabbage can stay in the gut longer, producing gas and pushing upward on your chest and heart area. That extra pressure can interfere with both sleep quality and blood pressure regulation. So, what can you do instead? 1. Enjoy cabbage earlier in the day. Lunch or brunch is the perfect time your metabolism is higher and your body uses the nutrients more efficiently. 2. Keep your portions moderate. Half a cup of cooked cabbage provides enough vitamin K without overwhelming your system. 3. If you take blood thinners, stay consistent. Don't eliminate cabbage entirely. Just eat roughly the same amount at the same time each day. 4. Cook it well. Steaming or sautéing cabbage softens the fiber and makes it easier to digest than eating it raw at night. 5. Pair it wisely. Combine cabbage with gentle foods like carrots or zucchini to reduce gas formation. Here's the emotional bottom line. Cabbage is not dangerous. It's a wonderful, healing food when used correctly. But as we age, even healthy habits require rhythm and awareness. It's not just what you eat, it's when and how your body can handle it. Handled with balance, cabbage remains your ally. Handled carelessly at night, it can quietly work against you. And now, we've arrived at the most surprising vegetable of all. It's the one almost everyone, over 60, eats daily, believing it protects the heart, yet it may be doing the exact opposite after dark. 1. Tomato. Tomatoes, bright, juicy, and heart-healthy, are the pride of nearly every kitchen. Doctors often recommend them for their antioxidants, and nutritionists praise their lycopene for heart protection. But what few people realize is that tomatoes, when eaten late in the evening, can quietly raise stroke and blood pressure risk in adults over 60. Here's how something so healthy can become harmful depending on timing and the body's nightly rhythm. Tomatoes are naturally high in acids and lycopene, a compound that supports circulation and reduces inflammation. But both of these can affect your autonomic nervous system, the part of your body that controls blood vessel tone and blood pressure during sleep. When you eat acidic foods like tomatoes close to bedtime, your stomach produces extra acid and digestive enzymes. For many seniors, this can lead to silent reflux even if you don't feel it. That reflux doesn't just irritate your throat. It can also trigger nighttime pressure spikes as your body struggles to regulate breathing and heart rhythm. At the same time, lycopene, while beneficial, can temporarily stimulate the renin-angiotensin system, the same internal mechanism targeted by blood pressure medications. If this happens while your circulation is slowing for rest, the result can be mini surges in blood pressure and pulse during sleep. They're rarely noticed, but over time, they can add up, straining the delicate arteries of the brain. The Harvard Health Publishing Group and Mayo Clinic both note that older adults with reflux, blood pressure issues, or medication sensitivity should avoid acidic meals within 3 hours of bedtime. Tomatoes are near the top of that list. Let's look at a realistic example. A 70-year-old man named Charles loved his homemade tomato soup every night. He thought it was helping his heart, but he began waking up with a heavy head, pressure behind his eyes, and a racing pulse around 3 a.m. His cardiologist discovered that his nighttime blood pressure was creeping upward even though his daytime readings were perfect. After switching his tomato-based meals to lunchtime, his sleep improved, and his pressure normalized within weeks. So, what's happening here biologically? After age 60, stomach acid clearance and digestive motility both slow down. That means tomato acids linger longer, increasing inflammation in the digestive tract and triggering stress hormones like cortisol. Those hormones don't just affect sleep, they also influence how tightly your arteries constrict. And here's another overlooked detail. Tomatoes are rich in tyramine, a natural compound that can mildly raise adrenaline. For most people, it's harmless, but in sensitive adults or those on blood pressure medication, tyramine can interfere with nighttime calm, keeping the cardiovascular system more alert than it should be. So how can you enjoy tomatoes safely? 1. Move them to lunchtime. Your digestion is strongest midday, and lycopene is better absorbed with healthy fats like olive oil when eaten earlier. 2. Cook them gently. Cooking reduces acidity and softens the fiber, making them easier on the stomach and heart. 3. Avoid pairing with heavy or spicy foods at night. Tomatoes plus garlic, vinegar, or pepper can magnify acid production. 4. Stay upright for 2-3 hours after tomato-based meals. This simple change reduces reflux and nighttime pressure spikes dramatically. 5. Hydrate and balance. A glass of water or herbal tea before bed helps dilute excess acid and keeps blood pressure stable. Here's the emotional bottom line. Tomatoes aren't your enemy, they're a gift of nature. But even gifts can become burdens if used at the wrong time. Your body after 60 deserves calm, gentle rhythms at night. By shifting tomato-heavy meals to the daylight hours, you protect your digestion, your heart, and your sleep. And when your nights are peaceful, your arteries rest too. Now that we've reached the end of this countdown, let's bring it all together, because the goal isn't to fear food, but to understand how timing transforms health. Outro. So now you've seen it, 5 vegetables that are packed with nutrition, but can quietly raise your stroke and blood pressure risk if eaten at the wrong time of day. Spinach, beets, celery, cabbage, and tomatoes, each one perfectly healthy in moderation, yet potentially stressful to the body when digestion slows at night. The message isn't to fear food, it's to respect timing, because after 60, your body doesn't process nutrients the same way it once did. Your circulation, hydration, and metabolism all follow a rhythm. When you work with that rhythm, not against it, you give your heart and brain the rest they need to stay strong for years to come. So here's your simple takeaway. Eat your heavier or high mineral vegetables earlier in the day. Keep dinner light, warm, and gentle. Stay hydrated, and listen to how your body feels the next morning. These small shifts can make a powerful difference, not just for your blood pressure, but for your energy, your clarity, and your peace of mind. Because the goal of healthy aging isn't restriction, it's alignment. When you understand your body's rhythm, every meal becomes an act of self-care. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, share it with a friend over 60, and subscribe for more weekly insights on senior wellness and vitality. And tell me in the comments which of these vegetables surprised you the most. Until next time, stay kind to your body and sleep well tonight. Disclaimer: this video is for general educational purposes only. It's not medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider if you have any specific dietary or medication concerns.